car off track spinning, but we've seen every car off track spinning. But you know what? They've all continued. As a matter of fact, 49th and 50th overall, the last two cars in the race are both still running, and they're both on the same lap. So I want to see those two battle it out to the end.
We might get your wish on that. Actually, let me check their lap times comparatively. Nichols in the grid light, Racers 2, while Michelle's doing 42s and 41s. CMS Racing 49. Pretty similar laps. 25 seconds between them, though not impossible that that could wind up next to each other in an hour's time.
Yeah, and the leader of GT4 class is off at Zambira. Andrew Mickey has just lapped P2 for a second time, and then he got shoved off track, I think.
No?
That actually was just a self-mistake.
Yeah. Didn't touch anything, just was a little wide coming into... Trying to figure out which corner that is. That's
Siberia, yeah. Well, our good friend Bill Zahn tells me to make things exciting whenever I can. So here we go. He had the 2-lap lead, now down to 1.9 laps. So things getting intense at the front of the GT4 field.
I'm sure Bill would have enjoyed that call. By the way, another interesting thing about this that we should note is that we need to keep an eye on who's done enough laps, enough time out there for each of their teams. Now, it's not too complicated, so I think most of them should be good, but you don't want to fall afoul of that and lose your points that you can score for this race. Dance is coming around Swan Corner. Handy 30-second lead. Taking a bit of an inside line around Josh Collins there coming final turn.
Joe, I just did a quick look down the GT4 battle. As a matter of fact, there are only 2 cars in GT... Oh no, I take that back. There are 4... There's a battle for 5th place who are on the same lap in GT4. But other than that, and the battle for 9th at the tail end of the full field, every GT4 car is on their own lap.
Whoa! And was that our leader hitting lap traffic? Cameron Dance misjudges it and finds himself in the back of Marvin Artman.
Oh, and he got hit again.
Makes a little bit of contact on the way out on top of it. Oh, and Dance is off again into the wall. He must have some damage. Where's Statler? Statler currently in second, is starting to gain quickly. Dance has the car on track. We'll get an update on the distance between the 2 cars pretty quickly here.
The Tasker now gonna go past Dance here as there's a wreck ahead between a GT and a LMP2.
There's the gap. It's down to 14 seconds, so cut literally in half between Dance and Statler. Fitside Motorsports can't be terribly happy about that because they had a handy lead, and while it will likely be their 2nd place car who inherits it. Whoa, and 2nd place car just had a car spin out, Cordell Cologne. Oh my goodness. It's just been a nightmare lap for our Fitside teams. I believe, or Statler on screen. That incident actually put Cologne into a fight with Edu Vila for 11th. No, it did not, because Vila just went off just now. Okay then, well, the racing gods do not want on-track battles, apparently, at this stage in the race.
Oh, and speaking about people off track, Richie Hearn from 3rd place. He, I think, dropped to 4th. Yes, he did drop to 4th. So, Kinetic Racing MTEC, the 69 machine, driven by Daniel Johnson, once again got past Richie Hearn.
Yeah, Hearn was looking at a podium, and unfortunately, that's going to hand it away. hour left to go. He's got to make up about 5 seconds, but they still have pit stops left as well. So.
Speaking of which, Patrick Stein running in second place in GT4 in the number 282 Man Sim Racing Yellow Machine is into the pits for his final stop of a race. He'll be able to come out in second, a whole lap over P3.
Yeah, and P3 is the still troublesome 42 machine of Dominic Warwick. Yeah, he just continues to have trouble with that Porsche. Obviously, the Porsche, the more handful car to drive in the GT4 class, where the BMW is the more stable platform. The Porsche is the outright faster car. Though, as Warwick is experiencing right now, it is quite a handful, especially over curbs, which luckily not too much of trouble here, but at other tracks that we're going to go to, that Porsche might have a little bit of a harder time as the lights have just turned on.
There we go. I believe that would probably mean that's officially sunset. Or is back out on track in second. He's going to try and see what he can do to salvage something out of this race. Maybe hope for some luck to swing their way and have something happen to Mickey in the 286.
Oh, and speaking about the 42, once again, trouble for it, with Warwick going off track through Siberia without any help. Just misjudges once again his braking point and ever so slightly spins out. Oh, and he's once again off track at Hayshed as he gets lapped by an LMP2. He's hopefully not going to cause any troubles here. No, has a safe re-entry. That's a good thing though about Warwick. He has had so much experience now already with returning the track that he can do it extremely safe.
I wonder if you can end up laying down some ruts or some grooves out there in the mud that, you know, if you keep going off at the same turn, you actually gain grip that way. So it was Robert Gregory who got behind the wheel of a 282, who's in second place in the GT4 field now. And we should mention, talking about, you know, it being hard to pass at places here and it being a bit of a tricky track where you can make mistakes. Are we going to see more of the same at round number 3? You betcha, because the next racetrack that these guys visit is Road Atlanta.
Yeah, and that's going to be an even shorter lap, especially for the LMP2s. There's going to be lightning through there, and having to deal with GT4s and the S's. No, thank you. I'm glad I'll be up in the booth, not down on the track. Riding on board with Roy. Still in second in these GT4s. You're going to see one of those LMP2s fly by. That's Cologne. Now, we have had something brewing in our GTEs. It looks like maybe that's come apart slightly. For 6th place between
big crash for second place, the 282. There we go. Robert Gregory hard into the wall, and that will give the 42 second position, I'm sure, because that's a lengthy repair right there.
He got help, unfortunately.
Yeah, once again, net code in that situation, the 282. No fault of their own. Edo Villa also really nothing he could have done there with that, as we're going to see that on the pit there. Yeah, quite nice to see that net code.
Und Auto hat nichts abgekriegt, oder? Achtung, LMP hinter dir.
Great knots at that point in the track, so we hit the tires.
Ja, geht jetzt, setzt jetzt an, der ist neben dir. Vorbei.
He's able to drive it back on his own power.
Yeah, but the problem was when he came back on there, that number 163 car you see just go by him, he actually had to take to the grass to avoid him.
Leif van den Berge has taken over that Mag 1 Esports. They're now in 3rd place. He is only the 3rd lap right now out on track. So GTEs seem to be also on the pit stop cycle, as the Bombshell Racing team, our former leader, the 188 in the GTE class, also now going to start their 3rd lap. As we right now have Ernst Stanley of the Fitzy Motorsport Hades in 1st place right now, as I think we have a battle on screen.
Yeah, just saw it pass. Driscoll made Hearn look like he was standing still. The 70 is clearly limping, going from what looked like a pretty good shot at the third now to having to fall to the back of the top 5. He's got 18 seconds to aid in Pike.
Jetzt kann ich nicht die Achtung. Oh, nee.
Front stretch, Hearn is a sitting duck.
Also, was ein Arschloch.
Hopefully, with at least 2 more pit stops in their future, they should be able to try and get that fixed and maybe get some of that top end back.
As he comes down to the bottom of the hill here, you'll see a car off in the grass on the left. That's Gregory trying to make his way back to the pits. Obviously, that car handling very poorly. No.
So I've just made a very quick speed check here on Richie Hearn. He's about 10 kilometers an hour down on top speed. So I'm pretty sure that he has damaged his animal
Kommt der nächste
somewhere
LP von hinten.
in this race, or one of his teammates, that is.
Did he make a little bit of contact as well, side to side with the car? I think it was ghost contact.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
might have a trick.
Yeah, I think that also,
Empty,
he could
empty.
still have damage on the bottom because he has been through the grass a few times and clattered over curbs. The good news for fans of the 282 is they did make it back to pit lane.
So we've already mentioned that this will move a 42 up into second. Assuming he's in the pits for more than a couple of laps, and looking at that car, it probably will be. Going up into third in class will be the 26 Missed Apex F1 podcast team. Now this is the car that we saw off several times at the start of the race. Ian Erasmus is now behind the wheel, and I believe it was he who was pointing backwards on the front straight earlier, where he got turned halfway down the front straight and had to watch cars blast by him at 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're right. It's the number 26 now has a potential podium in his sight.
Oh, and we're gonna have a pass for position in the LMP2's 4P number 3 Kinetic Racing MTEC. Just lost that position to Steve Driscoll, who is on a mission. Remember, only a few laps ago he did unlap himself from the leader, and he's now only 48 seconds back on them. And there you can see the pass 4P number 3. He's only now 28 seconds back on your second place. Take sense of 50 on the squad car.
Danke von hinten und nächste LP.
Driscoll qualified that number 51 on the pole, which is why he's making such short work of those around him.
Wow.
So now up on the
Er ist
podium
innen, jetzt ist er
spot,
durch.
47 seconds down from our leader. Can he do the unthinkable, unlap himself, and manage to give his team a win here today? 48 minutes to do so. As that green and white Evolve Sim Sports car keeps hustling around.
Now it would be interesting to see a lap comparison between Driscoll and at least Hart Stadler. But what I can see, he's about 1 to 2 seconds faster.
Erasmus, the 26. We need to go to the 26 right now. A huge wreck just after he took third. He went absolutely tumbling. Oh my goodness.
What in the world happened there? Oh my goodness.
Now why was he slowing so much? That was Lyndon Swaby who got into him in the 167, but that was just utterly bizarre. I don't think Swaby would have anticipated. Yeah, why would he ever imagine that car would slow up that much right there?
Yeah, he slowed down all the way to 161 kilometers an hour right at impact. So, Ian Erasmus, I don't really know what to think. Maybe he was extremely scared of miles outside of turn 1. But as I said, there was no reason whatsoever to slow down that much.
Well, assuming that car's damaged, the 26, and won't be back out there for a few laps, we're going to have to wait 6 laps until we get a new podium driver in GT4, and that will be the number 205 Mr. Apex F1 podcast team Porsche, his teammate, who is currently being shown on timing and scoring in 5th, but P3 and P4 are in the pits. Now, if P3 and P4 do not get back out there and the 205 does indeed get up into that podium position, 3rd place, he will be sitting in 3rd position, 11 laps behind the class leader.
That was a lot of ifs.
Well, it's a race on their crutches to see if they can get back out and get to the 3rd position. This is just wild here in the GT4 class. Because, I mean, Erasmus and Gregoire could still get back out there before Harper can manage to unlap himself enough. So big unknown, the final 3rd of this race. Sam, you were saying about we might not get another caution?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some big incidents in the last few laps. By the way, this is pit position number 1 and potential position... No, am I getting that mixed up with someone else? Sorry, that's the wrong car.
It's getting dark. Vision is just not as good as it was.
So, since...
Immer bei der Einfahrt an der Kurve fängt der Wagen voll an zu poppen.
He has already closed in 8
Achtung, jetzt kommt der nächste LMP. Der geht an der Zeige vorbei.
In the LMP2.
Wo fängt der Wagen an zu bocken?
Einfahrt in diese Steilkurve nach der Haarnadel.
Ja.
Go on, you gotta get going, you gotta get that 3rd place.
Aber die Aufhängung hat gerade auch einen mitgekriegt, als ich den Typen da vorhin berührt habe.
And it might actually be a drive to win for the Evolve Sim Sports Stamina car. Because
Mach langsam, geh nicht mehr auf Pace.
8 seconds to P number 2. They have closed 4 seconds to the RS car, the 59.
Schaltgang runter.
Really, I wouldn't count out that Evolve Sim Sports Stamina car at all from potentially winning this race in the next 44 minutes.
His last lap was his quickest at a 16.8. Compare that to the 17.7 of Dance. His score actually just coming across the line again. That was a little slow. I think he had some traffic. 18.4 for Steve. And we know that Dance has got to have a little bit of damage because when he had that contact in the Honda some minutes ago. Sadler, in the meantime, is the next one up for Driscoll. So before he even thinks about Dance, he does have to try and consider getting by the other pit side car.
Achtung, Achtung, Achtung. Innen, ja. The next
I would love to see our incident count after this race. If anybody somehow managed to get a 0 out there, if not, who managed the fewest of the entire field that finished.
Der nächste hinter uns ist eine Runde zurück.
There's 3 cars at the very bottom of
Also hat eine Runde weniger wie wir. Der vor uns hat eine Runde mehr wie wir.
I do believe total down.
Wir haben genug Puffer nach vorne und hinten, deswegen brauchen wir jetzt nicht mehr auf locker die Runden abspulen.
Right then. Final 45 minutes of this thing.
LMP, der geht innen rein, der ist in den ja. Und der Team steht auch gleich rein. Achtung, Vorsicht, der DDE ist auf der denkt noch zurück.
3 laps I've seen over Dominic Warwick?
Yep, that's correct.
Stunning what he's been able to do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It is 3 laps ahead of him because he's only about, what is that, 20 seconds back on track from Warwick to put him down 4 laps. So, wouldn't be surprised if by the very end we see Andrew Mickey having won that race by like 5 points. So,
certainly looks to be in the cards. Keeping an eye still on Harper in this Apex F1 podcast.
Steht hinten rein, nehmt ihr.
205 is now only one lap behind Gregoire. Rasmus, another lap after that. Currently, it's been about 8.5 minutes for Mad Sim Racing's yellow 282 that's been sitting in pit lane, taking those repairs. I know it was a hard hit. I didn't think it was that hard of a hit.
He's still missing the hood on that car, so I don't know if I don't know the order of when the iRacing mechanics put the pieces back together.
It's a little more complicated than Humpty Dumpty, unfortunately. As we got a bit of a battle for 8th in our GTEs. Andrew Warren in the 124 and Brian Kuzma in the 242. A lot of traffic amidst
Jetzt hat Thorsten einen schönen Rhythmus.
2 NFTs kommen alle auf uns rum. Porsche steckt hinten rein. Nehmt ihr.
And they got an LMP2 off in front of them on top of
Der
it.
GTE ist nehmt ihr. Oh, jetzt steckt.
Now that was Artman, who had to collect himself. Spencer Todd in the 6th place car is slow in.
That's second place.
Oh no, Statler's
Zeigt nur nach
off.
hinten.
And John Nichols in the GT4s, who was running last of everybody, just has more misery added to today.
Yes, that's the grid life car there. That GT4 car, but it's not the one leading race. That's the imagine it's the one down in 10th.
Statler's back running.
Der
He's
ist
got
aus.
Driscoll. So Statler's going to get some heckling.
Nehmt ihr, der nehmt ihr. Viele rein.
Ball 51.
Der ist direkt neben dir.
It's only about 4 seconds now between those two cars, so this obviously has helped
Achtung, der nächste ist neben dir.
Cuts down at least one of the positions. It doesn't help him as much with dance. Still got to do about 44 seconds up to the overall leader, and that was, I want to say, about 45. 20 minutes ago, so that rate
Achtung, nehmt ihr.
enough, unless he gets another caution, there's some help. We're down to 5 cars on the lead lap yet again, I think. Nope, we still got 6. Pataska in the VRS satellite, number 67. Just a few hundred feet up in front of Dance. Watch Dance work his way.
Oh, man. Have to come in there, sorry.
LLP kommt ganz schnell angesagt.
Again had troubles this time at MG, and he got collected by John
Direkt an einem
Nichols.
Ausstand. Boah, der wäre fast recht.
That was, and John was the one that was just involved
Jetzt
in
ist
that
neben dir.
the other LMP2 with Statler. Actually, it looks like we won't be able to have a replay of it. But Richie's now sitting in 5th. Hopefully didn't get too much more damage off of that. Dallas Pataska is actually coming up behind him. If we go to the 67, this is only at 1.1 seconds. This is for that 5th place. On board.
Der kommt ganz schnell
Forward
an.
connection issue.
Jetzt nehmt ihr. Nehmt ihr.
Wow.
Alter. Was ist doch auch?
Oh Mann, Todesschrei! Thorsten.
Really know what
Ich
he's
muss
got
es ja eilig haben. So.
Vielleicht hat er auch flott.
Catching quickly is down to half a second now. I think Pataska's
Wir brauchen noch einen Sticker irgendwie. Nicht schubsen, ich habe Joghurt im
going to come
Rucksack.
on the front stretch, which has been the Achilles heel of that number 70 Elite West car. Already before they even get at the top end, look down to the inside and then switching to the outside.
Wenn alle Delays, der nächste LLP kommt ganz schnell
Pataska makes
angesagt.
it look like Hearn is standing still.
Außen,
Well, in
nee.
sense of a LMP2, he pretty
Außen, jetzt
much
geht er. Außen, nimm dich. Oh, Vorsicht.
kilometers an hour
Oh,
over pace
Egon.
right there, so he lost another kilometers an hour.
Mein Spotter sagt da nichts
There's
zu.
a mistake from Dallas Tasker. Here comes Richie Hurt to the outside now of Stoner corner. It's going to be the inside for
Irgendwo
Honda.
steht es
It's
ist
on
nur nach
the
hinten.
break later, but that is also, by the way, the sister car of our
Vorne, das ist auch nicht so wichtig.
outside that's
Hallo.
potentially
Was hinten passiert.
so he's gonna able to retain.
Ich muss verkünden, dass ich dort nicht aufgenommen habe, es tut mir leid.
Watching this and just begging them to sort it out quicker rather than later.
Hört ihr mich?
Doesn't
Ja.
want to lap them as they're fighting
Alles
for
gut.
position. Of course,
Wir
you can give
konzentrieren uns auf
away
das
a little
Rennen.
bit of time.
Ach, jetzt kommt wieder so ein Irrer an.
Seconds over Statler.
Oh, and news for our GT4 runners. The 282 has driven out of pit lane.
Hinter dir zwei ist alles frei.
Gore now in that car, but they have been overtaken by the CMS Racing.com team number 1 car. The 178 is now in 5th place. So
Yep.
there has been some.
Yeah, but more importantly, the number 205 Missed Apex F1 podcast team Porsche, being driven by Sam Harper, has made it up to 3rd place. Only 10 laps behind the race leader. Can he run the... No.
Er ist außen, neben dir.
That race leader is Andrew Mickey,
Jetzt
by
kommt
Racing
GTE,
Bombshell team.
der
He took over from Murphy Nichols back around lap 43.
Der sitzt neben dir.
Back since has been clean as you like.
Hinter dir kommt schon wieder LMP ist vor
Probably has taken
uns GTE.
away.
Ist auch vor. Jetzt hat es Platz nach hinten.
Now, here's the thing though with Andrew Mickey, if we can get it on board with him here, that 286, you're gonna see something very particular, and that is a black and red car right in front of him. That is the 2nd place driver about to go laps down.
Yep, that's Warwick. And the number 42. Just kind of running his own race at this point. Knows that it's out of his hands beyond here. And he's got to try and
Vielleicht kannst du uns das Motorbattery
to the
stellen.
end. Meantime, I can inform you that Richie Hearn's
Aber die Idee wäre schnell fahren kann.
falling off the lead lap. Cameron Dan still looking to try and catch
So,
up.
ein Sprit hinkommen sollte das eigentlich kein Problem sein. Kann ja so weiterfahren.
Third in that class though. LMP2 podium up for
Oh,
grabs.
für 29 Runden
Big
ist.
wreck for Statler has probably hampered his speed. Driscoll might not know that, but he's still
28.
right up behind him by less than half a second. And now he gets some
Moment,
help
ich
from
rechne
the
kurz.
lap traffic, slowing both of them up. They almost go 3 wide down the front stretch. They'll look around the outside. Harold gonna be able to use the GT cars as a pit, so Driscoll is gonna wait for another corner.
Meanwhile, small side note here, 42 has officially got 4 laps down on your
Another shot, really good run up to Honda corner for Driscoll. Defensive move from Statler. Not going to give it up easy. He's making him work for it.
2 LMPs, Thorsten, Vorsicht.
Regrouping, Steve Driscoll sees more traffic up ahead. Asowski and Valverde up next for them.
Achtung, neben dir.
To give credit, I thought Driscoll would
So
be
parkt der denn da, ey?
on this, but he's playing a patient
Das ist
game.
GT4.
He knows he doesn't need this right
Ja,
away.
okay,
Angst.
ich freue mich jetzt gerade.
Multiple laps. This might be it. Gets the slipstream down the pit straight. This time he's going to get the right side of the circuit. And in doing, there it goes. P2 for Steve Driscoll, who less than an hour ago was down in 6th spot. A car going completely off is Josh Collins. So the number 102 just catches the barrier slightly.
actually managed to catch the barrier, as you said. And you can see on the top left here of the tower, 32 minutes 27 seconds. That means with these LMP2 cars, as soon as they pit from out, they are good to go to the end.
That's Christopher Reagan, the LMP2 that's slow there. He was just banning fenders for 14th place, and he's came off worst in that battle. Obviously had to spin and got back going again, but is now thrown into this pack of cars we've been watching.
Von hinten mit so einem LMP angeschossen.
CT racing cars had
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
excitement today. That's the one shared
5
with this
LMPs.
lady.
Oh no!
Ja, die sind jetzt einfach gegenseitig.
And that's Driscoll off.
Nehmt ihr?
He got hit.
Driscoll. Oh.
As soon as I saw Driscoll go 3 wide with an LMP2 on the inside,
4 LMPs hinter dir.
not gonna end well. Marvin has no idea that the Driscoll's also lapping that GT4, but on the other side, and that's exactly
Noch
what
zwei, noch zwei.
Driscoll expected. The spotter to go clear left, and only to
Cool.
have himself.
And we got a caution.
This is good for him. He's
Yes.
in pit lane.
This is perfect for Steve Driscoll, but he's actually, did he get in pit lane before the caution came out though?
Kann das sein, dass gelb ist?
They had to have been
Yeah,
very
every-
close.
Well, if he's excellent in the
Gelbphase.
Gelbe Flagge.
Gelbphase.
He drove
Hellphase, okay.
Probably
Ui, ui.
because
Wenn würde ich eventuell nochmal tanken vielleicht. Ich
he
glaube
wanted
nicht, dass
to
wir
be
mit
safe, but if
hinkommen.
he had passed the
Warum
pit
nicht? Wir
lane
haben jetzt ein paar Runden, wir haben jetzt ein paar Runden unter Gelb.
Penalty, I think, though.
Müsste genau
Yeah.
hinkommen.
I believe we saw that last time too.
Also 27 Runden, bei noch 25 Minuten, bei noch 25 Minuten, oder? Wie lange haben wir noch?
Wir haben 25, 30 Minuten sind noch. 30
Ne, 30 Minuten. 30 Minuten, okay.
If it could have come just
Zur Not machen wir am
moments
Schluss
later,
wir haben noch
we would have been safely in and be able to take the pairs under caution. Maybe.
Ja,
get
aber
out.
wir fahren noch
I believe at least only one
31.
lap down.
God,
I'm
no!
not sure what this is going to do for him now, though. This will, however,
1,8 Liter pro Runde.
Richie Hearn.
Oh my goodness, we've had a huge pile-up at MG just a few moments ago.
Kannst du die alle wieder überholen?
112 in that,
Bitte?
as well as Thorsten O.Zimmermann of the 70.
Der Thorsten die alle wieder überholen kann, sag ich.
Was involved in all of that. Let's see if we can get the replay of that. There we go.
Zimmerman was kind of on his own, just spun out, and everybody else kind of joined in sympathy. Oh, yeah, no, they were caught out and they checked
Oh,
out.
1,8 Liter pro
Went
Runde.
into that car, unsure if they were going to rejoin. Warwick
Wir
got
haben
rear-ended,
noch
so did Osowski.
29 Minuten.
Nathan Contact was third in that line.
Also
third and fourth
27
and
Runden
on the
noch.
same lap, so that's something we'll be keeping an eye
Also
on.
bei 29 Minuten kommen wir auf 23 Runden.
Racing.com team.
Und wir haben 27, sagt er hier, und bei Fuel.
So, auf der Uhr stehen 28,
Some chatter.
geteilt durch 1,25.
Driscoll's team. Looks like his crew chief's trying to talk to the stewards. Unfortunately for him, though, I don't think they'll
Sind
have the black flag
120,
here, because they're trying to plead their case that
125.
they were right at the cone blue.
Actually, that is for a different team. That is the 102 of Ford Endurance. They had the same problem.
So, das mal
as you said,
1,8.
they are gonna grant that.
Brauchen noch 40 Liter, wir kommen hin.
The league is notorious for not clearing in-race black flags that are given by iRacing itself. So, yeah, I fear that they unfortunately are up a certain creek.
So, Achtung, du fährst aufs Feld auf.
You see, looks like this is interesting that
Auf jeden Fall haben wir gerade Platz gut gemacht.
okay, our leader is in. I was like, why do we not have a LC2 at the
Elfter
front?
Platz.
Cameron Dance has pitted, and in fact, this is very similar to the last stop. The last caution was many.
Wo haben wir das denn geschafft? Also mit mir wird noch 12. Ne, Moment.
And it's worked on.
Daniel Johnson in the 69 stays out. I think he'll be your new leader.
No, he was a lap down. He's trying to get his lap back.
Die stehen in der Box, Porsche-Endurance 404.
Continue in, or now, sorry, Harald Stadler
Kann natürlich sein, dass jetzt noch einige in die Box geht.
Also Spritreich, habe ich richtig gehört, ja?
Ja,
Cars have switched position, but pretty much expected that Cameron Dance just on raw pace will take back that P1 position.
kann sein, dass du gleich vorbei
25
kannst.
cars in position for a wave around.
Wir haben vor uns einen Wave-Around. Wir haben vorhin schon mal eine
We'll
Runde
be getting that in a
geschenkt.
moment. In the meantime, now that we've got our LMP2 leaders coming out of the pits and back
Ja,
on
da-
the track, we're going to take a
Da war ich im
quick break here.
Sandwich zwischen dem
This
ersten
is
und
the
dem
final
zweiten.
half hour of the Majors Team Endurance Challenge, round 2. Don't go away.
Ja, Patrick, musst du gucken, was du aus dem Video machst. Wahrscheinlich kommst du da eher mit dem, musst du dann das ganze Rennen noch irgendwie nochmal angucken.
Sowieso.
Ja, weil ich habe gemerkt, so bei mir, der ist gerade zwar die Festplatte voll gewesen bei meinen Einstellungen.
Aber die TV-Übertragung, die ist perfekt. Die war völlig anders.
Ja. Ja, die habe ich mir jetzt noch gar nicht angeschaut, so.
Ja, ich hatte eben auf dem Handy, hatte ich mal, wo du noch gefahren bist, deswegen konnte ich dir das ja sagen, dass sie dich gelobt haben, wie sauber du fährst und wie sicher du dein...
Ja, ganz toll, Bernie, ey. Ich würde mich so in den Arsch beißen, ne?
Thomas, hör auf damit, das ist Blödsinn.
Ja.
A, da kannst du nichts für. Ne? B, war ein super Rennen, bis dahin.
Sauberen Job gemacht.
Und danach auch.
Ja.
Einen sauberen
Ja.
Job abgelegt. War genauso geil wie beim ersten
Guck mal,
Mal. War doch geil.
Wir waren auf 4. Platz, was wollen wir mehr? Wenn auch nur kurz.
Und du wärst fast
Ja?
im Dritten gewesen. Ne? Wir haben ums Podium gekämpft, Alter, in der WM. Ums Podium. Ja, wir pfeifen gegen diese ganzen... Ja,
And then when the wave rounds begin, you'll get on it and get around as quick as you can.
Ist ärgerlich, aber das gehört zum Rennen halt auch dazu.
Habt ihr verstanden, wer diesen Trick hat?
Ja, also guck mal, allein die Tatsache, Bernie, so dass du als zwischen ersten und zweiten gefahren bist, so, ne, das war ja...
Wir haben einen Wave-Around bekommen, hat keiner mitbekommen?
Ja, ganz ruhig, beruhig dich. Ja, hol tief Luft, ne? Trink Tee.
Ich trinke niemals Tee. Ich trinke, wenn
Ja, der beruhigt.
Kaffee.
Fakt ist auf jeden Fall, wie es aussieht, ist der hinter uns auch noch eine Runde zurück, ne?
Nee, der hinter uns ist eine Runde vor uns, der ist rot.
Was? Der hinter uns ist
Also der jetzt genau hinter uns fährt, also wir haben eine Runde Rückstand auf den vor uns genommen und wir haben eine Runde Vorsprung auf den, der hinter uns ist. Deswegen, der Thorsten braucht gar kein Gas mehr zu geben, der braucht einfach nur noch sein Ding abzuspulen.
Der hinter uns platzierte. Vorsicht hinter dir.
Thorsten, stört dich das Gelaber?
Weiß ich nicht.
Welcome back to Phillip
Hallo,
Island.
Thomas, wir
are
gehen
getting
mal
ready
in
for
einen
our
anderen
second
Kanal.
restart of the day.
Genau.
And your new leader is Harold Stadler. About 3
Yeah.
seconds ahead of Cameron Dance. Our leaders have switched around despite the Texans' fit side number 68 getting some damage from a serious incident earlier on in the race. Can he hold on to this top spot? As our pace car comes in, and they're still unlapping themselves. That's John McClintock that just went by. So not sure why he did that, because now he's just going to get lapped right back because the green flag is out. That is not for position directly behind Statler. That's Cordell Cologne, who is a lap down. Cameron Dance is the next one behind, has some ground to make up here on the restart, and only has 23 minutes to try and get the spot back. Leaders in the GTEs are about separated by 3.5 seconds themselves. For the Caliber team has just hopped in there. Lee Vandenberg has hopped into the Mach 1 eSports car. Andrew Mickey still leading by 4 laps, so his lead does not change from this caution.
Yeah, and the thing we still have to cover, I don't think you mentioned it. If you did, I'm sorry. The Evolve SimSport Diamond car that we did look at for fighting that second place, Steve Driscoll. He did come into pit lane as Linz Wavy had us been in Honda. Steve Driscoll lost bits in that caution, so he is now a full lap down on the
geht innen rein, der ist jetzt neben dir. Und LMP kommt auch jetzt neben dir.
Marvin Altman, 5th place in the
nächste LMP neben dir.
The whole hard, and that's another car gone. That's Brent Trosine.
Oh my goodness, so Trosine was not 4th position, but Artman was, so Driscoll up to 6th. He's got about 3.5 seconds up to the battle for 4th, which is on right now between Thompson in the 70 and Henrique in the 16. Henrique is going to be able to get by into P4. Look at that. So the Suderita Monza, which weren't they as far down, I want to say as 14th or something at one point, is now well back up the order. A little bit far away from a potential podium, but certainly with a solid top 5 in the cards. Oddly, Dance is not gaining on Statler right now. Of course, they are close on I rating between the pair of them. So it could be that Harold just that little bit quicker. While Enrique pushing hard to separate himself from Thompson. The car in front of him is Jeffrey. Jeffrey's not 4th position, so he doesn't need to sweat this one. Behind him, Christian Schallner in the Team iRacing car. Wants to try and get more spots, and he's got about 7 seconds. They're both going to go by the left car from Jeffrey to see if
Außen neben dir. Oh, was ein Arschloch. Nächste LMP kommt von
now. Enrique needs to choose. Does he want to hold back Challenger? Former pro, now iRacing staff member. Nope, he's not going to hold him back at all.
Der ist außen jetzt. Achtung, vorbei.
That allows Christian Challenger to go his very way and try and gain on Cologne by about 2 seconds to see if he can move to 11th. Well, Driscoll has already caught Michael Thompson.
Der LMP hinter dir ist gerade
healthy. It's falling backwards once more. For the second time in this race, it appears he's going to lose his spot to the number 51.
And the funny thing for Driscoll is, yes, he is right now 6th place. Yes, he is a lap down, but he's actually not too far away from a podium position. As the Kinetic Racing MTEC team, they are a minute 9 behind. That means Driscoll is only about 30 seconds or so back on that 3rd place driver. Plus, he is about 1 to 2.5 seconds faster a lap than the 69 of Daniel Johnson. So 18 minutes remaining, he might still be able to get there.
And Dance is cut down 1.6 seconds. Something must have held up Harold. He's now suddenly under the gun. If Dance gets anywhere closer, he's going to smell a whiff of the win. I don't think he's going to take it lying down, even though it's his teammate in another Fitzai car.
Achtung, Achtung, der geht innen rein, ja. Vorbei. Nächsten kommt.
It's throw away the victory for their team.
Auch innen, der nächste geht innen und dann kommt noch einer. Der ist außen. Nehmt ihr, nehmt ihr.
Stretch 1.5 seconds. They pick up speed. Dance having shared this car with Jack Stiles earlier on in the race. Statler with Ben Johnson. Only imagine the nerves that each of their teammates are feeling now so close to the win.
Achtung, der geht innen rein. Bleib aus. Ja, alles gut.
It is down to their cohorts to decide who claims victory here at Phillip Island in the dark of the night.
Oh, and we just had a massive wreck at the Honda chicane. Jason Enric, the number 16 LMP2, massive wreck for him. He T-boned a lap car that was caught in Cologne. That was also your third place driver, Jason Enric. Completely misjudged the line that the GT ahead of him is gonna take. Hopefully we have that on replay. Yes, we have that 16. Just have a look at that.
Picked the wrong side, can't brake on the grass. Poor Cordell was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Grizzly Motorsports 48 took a huge blow and is already towed to pit lane. Sad to see that happen, but Driscoll probably isn't, because that's going to gift him a few spots. Puts him into fourth with about 24 seconds up to Johnson. Right on board with him now. Just love the visuals that iRacing has added ever since they put the time of day changing into the sim. Just incredible. That sunrise and sunset. Now Driscoll, half a minute to make up, but very few laps to actually catch up to the back of Daniel Johnson for a potential podium. Ahead of them all, Dance and Statler separated still by about 1.3 seconds. That's been hovering around there. Hasn't gotten close enough for Dance to be able to
Ein LMP kommt vorbei.
And it just might eat my words, because I think Statler got held up by some traffic. It's down to 0.4 of a second now. Let's head over to Cameron Dance. There you can see the gap between them, 0.2 of a second. Dance is coming. How hard does Harold fight this? Are there any team orders here? Or is this every man for himself? Down into Honda corner. Braking hard, Dance gets right underneath the rear wing. Can't quite make it stick. Car going completely off track is Jason Lottridge. 288 just trying to stay out of the way of this fight.
Now, obviously, rule number 1 of racing, don't hit your teammate. Cameron Dance has to be careful while they're fighting for position. I'm pretty sure the Fitzy guys have no team orders in place here. It's every man for himself. Stadler versus Dance should be a very exciting battle for the last 15 minutes, as once again there's a lap car holding them up to 2:05 of Sam Harper, right now third place in the GT4 class, and this is gonna give the good opportunity for Cameron Dance here down the front stretch into turn 1. Let's have a look here. The draft comes into play, half a car length, third of a car length is gonna lift on the throttle. Not gonna take it this time around, so Stadler allowed to lead at least one more lap here in the closing stages of this race.
Achtung, der nächste LMP aus.
So far, so good.
Bleibt drauf, bleibt drauf, bleibt drauf. Jetzt kommt noch ein GT3. GTE.
GT cars down to the
Der
inside.
kommt ziemlich schnell. Lass ihn durch. Der ist innen, der ist innen.
Stay out of their way. They're coming
Der ist neben dir. Der ist immer noch
Johnson,
neben
and
dir.
this is the third place car. They are lapping third place here.
Jetzt ist wieder nach hinten.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really intriguing to see what Johnson is going to do here with these two cars approaching. Obviously, he doesn't want to lose too much time because he still has Driscoll closing in on him. The last lap, 3 seconds was the difference in favor of Cole. So Johnson, he has to pick a good spot here because he will have to let by both Fitzy cars. So maybe Johnson going into turn 1 and let both cars by. Obviously a little bit of a difficult situation with also GT4 car now to his left side, and actually these two won't even be able to catch him by that time.
Clock's running out. We've got about 10 laps to go here. So Dance can't just sit around and wait for this to fall into his lap. Johnson now ahead of him. He's going to hold off to the side. He sees the blue flags, and there they go. So
good job by Johnson, but this has lost him only about a second to a second and a half. Just there.
And 13.2 between himself and Driscoll. Yet more of the traffic was causing a slalom amongst them, going by Hutchison and Johnson. And this might hold up Stadler right here. Two cars side by side, Boomsma and McClintock. Thankfully, they're going to get single file in time. Both of them down and through. Such a complicated mess that our LPG drivers having to deal with. Horrible for Dance. What was 0.3 of a second is back up to 0.6.
I'm also keeping an eye here on the chase down for third place between the 69 and the 51. So you're not gonna miss anything there as well. Obviously, your pole sitter, the Evolve Simsport Diamond, most definitely looking at least getting a podium finish off that, and that's gone. Steve Driscoll spins.
Well, he saves it and he keeps it off the wall. He's trying to find his way back to the track. Great job not panicking in that situation, but even still, he's got to be kicking himself, knowing that he was gaining hand over fist. Back to our leaders. He's cut down the gap to 0.3 once again. Cameron Dance continues to be able to get him down to within attacking range, but just not being able to actually attack. Swan. The lap onto the front stretch. This is the closest Cam's been on the front stretch. This is going to be a very good opportunity. Moving immediately over to the left side. Stadler picks his line. Cameron's down to the inside. They come through Doohan, and after multiple laps of trying, Cameron Dance is your new leader. Car off to the side was Gregoire in the GT4s.
Alright, so with the spin that Driscoll did put in, the gap has opened up to 15 seconds between third and himself. So, honestly, with the rate he has been catching Johnson, this is still not out of the ballpark here for Johnson.
He's got to keep it clean. He knows that things can get thrown away here quite easily.
Geht außen, bleibt innen, ja.
All of our podium did not start on the podium.
Bleibt innen, der geht außen vorbei.
And second started from 7th. The Aries car started from 5th and now is in the lead. And then the Kinetic Racing number 69, Daniel Johnson, started from 8th and is in 3rd. Poor pole sitter, Steve Driscoll, has fallen from that top spot down to 4th.
Yeah, and at one point we actually did have the Elite West Racing in a podium spot position, and that would have been extremely incredible for them because they actually did start dead last in class. Though, we have to mention, they are still right now in 6th place, having gained 12 positions in class. Still, they have to be very proud inside that 17
Regarding that Gregoire incident you saw a moment ago, for Mad Sim Racing Yellow, that was actually a pretty nasty incident, so they've had to go back in the pits. That is costing them 5th place in class for the first time in a while. Sector 8 has moved up into the top 5 in class, the number 58 machine currently being driven by Stephen Paulison, now 5th place.
I just have to keep an eye out for that 3rd place battle, because while I have updated you just 2 laps ago, Driscoll has already closed in another 5 seconds. The gap between Johnson and Driscoll only 10 seconds at this point and dropping rapidly. So Driscoll on a mission, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna catch Johnson at this rate before the timer runs out.
Was ist nicht passiert?
We're going to watch from Driscoll's perspective how hard is he pushing. Around towards the final turn. The inky blackness of the night, and man, that's got to be scary. Anytime you see those puffs of dust or smoke in front of you, no idea what's in front of you, and these LMP2 cars will arrive on the scene very quickly, so not much time to react.
So, Patrick, aus, willst du noch mal fahren?
Ich zieh mich gerade an. Was ist denn jetzt hier passiert?
Speed difference around the outside for the LMP2 on the GT4. And now, situation, and GT right ahead of him. Gonna have to move around the outside of both of them. Quick reactions for Driscoll required there, as well as the GTE changed the line ahead of him, but managed to do that very nicely. 18.4 the last lap for him. 2.1
Fährst du, Patrick?
That Johnson
Ich sitze im Auto, also.
So that gap
Ja, gut,
so shrinking.
Unacceptable level. Ja.
Never give up, never surrender.
Okay, warte, wir gucken mal. Keine Reifenwechsel, nix da.
Mal gucken, ob das Auto noch fahrbar ist. Der ist x-mal eingeschlagen.
Ja, mach langsam. Hast du deinen Spotter an?
Ja.
Okay. Was ist los?
Wer lässt mich nicht raus? Repairs. 1,29.
Morton is leading the race.
Required?
Nein, hier steht optional, aber der lässt mich nicht raus.
Läuft der Motor?
Ja, ich habe ihn angemacht.
And there we have the lap comparison. Look at that. 4. That 6 lap, that plus 6, that is the lap he spun at. Next lap, -4, -2.
Fahr vor, denk dran, die Karre ist nicht mehr das, was sie mal war.
Pull up that graphic, we're talking in terms of tenths, comparing two drivers.
Oh Mann, oh Mann, oh Mann.
Alter Verwalter, die Kiste ist...
And it's 2.5 seconds at this point. Hand over fist. It's bleeding away.
Wenn's gar nicht geht, stell die Kiste ab.
Does he have
das Ding ist kaum
the
fahrbar.
guts? Does he have the nerve?
Stell sie ab. Fahren ran, drück Escape und lass gut sein. Oh, wir hier noch irgendwen abräumen.
Has the benefit of having trouble burying his teammate right behind 66. Now, I don't want to throw anything at this guy. He's trying to be him a little bit like situations, but it is just that one car that is helping you a little bit, facilitating loop-like situations a little bit harder for the car that is catching it.
And they have specified rules that you are not allowed to try and intentionally hinder a car from another class or a car lapping you.
Wollen von euch nochmal einer testen?
Lotti, mach dir keinen, nee, da wird nichts mehr lassen, was die Karre steht.
Die Zeit ist doch um. Die Zeit ist um.
Driscoll now has only one machine between himself and
3 Stunden sind rum, jetzt müsste die Flagge kommen.
Ja, wahrscheinlich jetzt noch so die letzte Runde. 3 Stunden plus 1.
He's just biding his time. Oh, but he almost shuts the door on him. Sees him there, so he's going to give space now that he's side by side. Is he finally going to let him through? He's making life very difficult. Wow, back up in front of him. Driscoll's got to be steaming.
Alles gut. A little bit dirty there from the 66 because he did shut the door quite hard on Driscoll.
Ja, wir haben super Rennen
and he's still not giving way. This is most definitely trying to be a little bit bendy with the rules. Let's put it that way.
Und ich sag mal so, einzusteigen, das sag ich jetzt mal so von anmachen, einloggen, hinsetzen, Rennen fahren, das ist schon scheiße schwer.
If he can just get by, Daniel Johnson outbreaks him. Oh, and the teammate behind him, Valverde's off track, but it's not going to affect the pass as Driscoll is up to third.
Ja.
Jedes Mal. He did it with 2.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, right about that many laps to go. I was watching the leader last time by, was sitting at about 2 laps to go when Cameron Dance comes through the final complex of corners, which, by the way, has pretty much wrapped up the GT4 win for
2 litres remaining.
So mal reparieren. Ich fahr doch mal raus.
Ja. Es sind noch 3 Minuten. Vielleicht können wir ja noch 1, 2 Plätze retten irgendwie.
Noch 3 Minuten.
To his credit, Harold Statler is not letting him get too far away. It's about 2 seconds splitting them.
Yeah, and the good thing is for our guys here in the GT4s, we might still have a little bit of a battle on our hands for 3rd place in class.
Tommy, wolltest du dir
because it's
rausfahren?
only half a lap between those two.
Ja doch, aber...
Sam Harper and Jordan Johnson. Something good stuff.
Überhitzung oder was?
In reference to them, because if they split them, that unfortunately will not allow them to race to the finish.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty significant gap between them anyhow, but still impressive in a way to finish 10 laps down.
Dance with just 2 more corners before he sees the
So, ich fahre jetzt allerdings ohne Brille, ne?
0.3 seconds to
Ja, so Drisse, ja.
Alter, das sind 2 Minuten noch.
Ja.
Also bei mir steht
einfach nur ein Zielfahrt, eine Runde. Das sind ein paar Plätze.
Wants to remain careful. Just never
Weiße Fahne.
even down to the final lap in the series. Dance takes the white flag, 1 to go after 3 hours of racing.
There's a car approaching, don't cross the white line.
Honestly, at this point,
13th place, last lap. We're running on fumes, mate.
Snap off the race with the drive that he has.
Oh, ist das dunkel hier, Freunde!
Achtung, hinter dir, schneller.
To break very early for
Setzt innen an, innen, vorbei.
Patrick, bitte.
Faster cars behind.
But, yeah,
Du brauchst es jetzt nicht mehr.
6.
On your right.
1 point each before.
Still there. Clear right.
This isn't over. Yeah, I mean, it was 4 seconds a moment ago. It's down to just 2 seconds now, and Dance does have a couple of lap cars ahead of him.
He's got to play it cool. He's got half a lap left as they come up to Lukey Heights, and he is going to be held up quite a bit here. Is his teammate behind him?
Oh,
yes!
No.
They come together, and Cameron Dance is going to be able to manage to sneak through here, maybe just gets to the inside. His teammate could get a bit of a slipstream down the front stretch, but he looks a little too far back. Drama all the way to the very end, but it's going to be a pit side 1-2 with Dance taking the 59 first and in second.
GT2 and GTE and GT4 leaders both still have pretty much a whole lap left to go around here.
I think Kurt Crumb's going to be the next
Zielflagge.
on the 188.
Clear left. Car right. Clear right.
10 seconds over Vandenberg.
14th. That's it. We're done.
The Calvert Dynamics bombshell have been at each other's throats for much of this race.
Immer schon mal 10 Plätze weiter vorne wie letztes Mal.
Alternatively, the 286 could stop right now.
Hat er uns jetzt überholt? Hat er uns jetzt überholt in der letzten Runde da, der Sack?
Nein,
Well,
nein.
it would be pretty much
Ja, ja.
Doch.
Our lap ahead
Ja.
of P number 2, the Mach 1 Esports team. They did lead at one point.
It's 10 seconds between them, I think. I'm seeing.
Is it?
Ja, 23.
Der Daniel Stevens, Mittelfinger Racing.
Is what happened. That's what you're seeing. So
Der hat ja Mittelfinger gezeigt, jetzt nochmal zum
and
Schluss.
still the win goes to the 188 team for Calvert Dynamics Bombshell Racing Team.
Das wäre viel wichtiger gewesen, so dass du sagst, hier hinter dir ist der ist in derselben Runde.
Andrew Mickey taking himself and Murphy Nichols to the win by multiple laps in that 286 as he flashes.
Weil dann hätte ich den nicht so freiwillig so
It's a little bit funny because I actually told them to be 5 laps ahead of the rest of the field, and in the end, they're 5 laps ahead at the end of the race.
So, as we saw a little bit of a celebration spin from Dance as he gets clipped by somebody,
Ja, wir haben
we're
immerhin
going to
jetzt eine Menge
take a quick break. We'll come
Punkte
back
geholt.
with the unofficial results as well.
Das Punktesystem ist seltsam hier.
Don't go away.
Wir haben Haufen Punkte geholt, weil die ins Ziel fahren, eine Menge Punkte kriegen. Das ist ein amerikanisches NASCAR-Tail-System. Du kriegst, wenn du hier ins Ziel fährst und eine bestimmte Prozentzahl nicht schaffst, kriegst du 0 Punkte. Und so kriegst du aber 100 und noch was. Und dann der Abstand zwischen dem ersten und dem letzten sind aber dann nur ein paar Zähler. Das ist wie in der NASCAR.
Für jede absolvierte Runde kriegst du Punkte. Dann eigentlich auch für die schnellste Runde kriegst du Punkte und für Führungsrunden kriegst du Punkte und.
Also hier das Wichtigste, so habe ich ja auch letztes Jahr meinen 3. Platz geholt. Nicht mit super Podestplatzierung, sondern weil ich in jedem Rennen bis zum Schluss durchgefahren bin. Und meine Gegner, die hatten ein paar gute Rennen.
Das ist ja eine Sache, da kann man nichts machen, das kann passieren.
Wir haben es ins Ziel gebracht.
Ja, so und ich mache mich jetzt auch vom Acker. Und dann sage ich mal, wann wolltet ihr morgen dieses Spaßrennen eigentlich machen?
Das haben wir habe ich bisher abgeblasen, weil der Mac und so, die haben wir keine Zeit auf immer.
Also, okay.
Das machen wir zwischen die Jahre, wenn das, also nochmal in Ruhe, das muss ich nochmal in Ruhe planen. Wir können uns trotzdem morgen mal kurz treffen. Morgen Abend 18 Uhr ist doch hier Premiere von MTEC 1. Das Video. Kannst du dir mal angucken. Da kann man ja auch mal chatten oder so. Ich fahre bestimmt morgen mal in Seebringen rennen.
Okay.
No?
Ja, dann sage ich mal eventuell bis morgen.
Ja.
Und ansonsten sehen wir uns nächste Woche oder hören uns nächste Woche.
Ja.
Alles klar.
Macht's gut und nehmt's nicht so schwer. War ein schönes Rennen.
Das war ein geiles Rennen auf jeden Fall.
Ja? Macht's gut. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
No. Ich werde mich aber auch jetzt ablegen.
Oh.
Ja.
Du speicherst das Replay?
Das ist schon alles gespeichert. Der braucht aber hier ewig, also gesehen hat. Also, wünsche euch was.
Alles klar. Wir hören uns morgen, ne? Ciao.
Ciao.
Yeah, there was Calvert Dynamics Bombshell Racing taking the win because they were just ahead of the overall race winner when they crossed the finish line, and the Mach 1 Esports number 163 machine was an extra lap down, so that meant they could have gone for the win and second place ahead of the Textile 50 Motorsports Harleys team, rounding out the PTE podium. Sim TV Bombshell Racing and Evolved Sim Sports Titanium. Now here on this page of the results you see a couple of LMP2 cars that have bad races, Sector 5 World Blue Yonder.